Hello, I'm EG and this is Crocheting with EG, and in this video, this is sort of the follow-up to the video that I did about the stuff that I found at Goodwill and Salvation Army, and I said that I'd gotten some yarn from Hobby Lobby, and so this is that video. And so the past two times that I've gotten yarn at Hobby Lobby, it's been on one of their shipment days, and I'm starting to know which days they are. And so I was thinking, okay, that one day they had all those boxes and stuff, and so I went in there and they had a bunch of yarn. They'd taken yarn off the shelves and discounted it. And then when I went in the following week, that same day, and it was the same kind of shipment day, I thought, this has the same kind of vibe. And then I went back later on, and they had some yarn in the clearance section. I mean, in the remnant section. So I thought maybe I can do that same thing. Maybe this is going to be like a new thing that I can go on their shipment days, and maybe so what I'm assuming is, because it sort of feels like they get new yarn in, and I mean, you would think that, I don't know what's in the back of their store, but I know that they have all the Christmas stuff out. You would think that they moved, unless they moved stuff to the back of the store to make room for the Christmas stuff. But you would think that they would have room, a lot more room in the back, with all the Christmas stuff out. But it just seems like they get a new yarn, because I know what new yarn looks like because it's in those plastic bags, and and they have them like in the carts on those shipment days, and they're like unwrapping them and putting them on the shelves. But it just seems like, because this is like coinciding with their shipment date, it just sort of feels like they're opening up all the new yarn, and then they're thinking, okay, there's room for three skeins, these three skeins on the or no, there's three skeins of this kind of yarn that need to go on the shelf, but there's only room for two. So it's like they're taking one of the old ones off and think, okay, we'll clearance that one. It's like they're not, like maybe they can't put the new yarn in the back, and so if they get in like, four skeins of something and there's only room for two, then they're gonna like pull two off the shelf to make room for the four new ones, and then put the two that were old on in the remnant section clearance or something. I don't know, but it's like the third time that on one of their shipment days, they're or whatever, it's not called a shipment day, but you know what I'm saying. That's what it feels like. That that I see the truck come in. When I like pull in the store, I'm thinking, okay, this is like a shipment day, or I've just sort of noticed that, and so it just sort of feels like that, and so I feel like this is like the third day, because I mean, I was thinking about those other 2 days were shipment days, and so I thought, oh, I'll go this day, and it's the same day of the week, and so I thought maybe this is going to be another shipment day, and I walked into my Hobby Lobby, and there were all those boxes and stuff. So like now I know there's shipment day, in my store at least, and then I was thinking, are they going to discount any yarn? So I walked through there, and they didn't have any like sitting in a cart or anything, but I just sort of felt like, the first time I came across all these skeins on a shipment day, they weren't in a cart either. But I felt like, oh, they're going to be discounting yarn or whatever, and so then I went back to the store, and then they had some in the remnants, or they were going to mark them down or whatever. And so I went in there this day, and they had like a bunch of carts, and they were like opening up the yarn and all that kind of stuff. And so I left, and that's when I went to like one of the trips to my either Goodwill or Salvation Army, or like one of those days. I think I went to Goodwill, and so that's why this video kind of like intersects with the other video that I did, so I left, and sort of like recreating that first day when this whole thing happened, when I left and went to a couple places, and when I went back, because I felt like, oh, they're gonna have yarn, they actually had a bunch of yarn. So like I'm sort of recreating retracing my steps or whatever. And so I left and went to Goodwill, went wherever I went, and then I went back to Hobby Lobby, and then I actually went back 4 times, or no, I went in the store 4 times that day, which is more, like even more than when I went looking for the big markdown, because I just feel like I got another like another tip or another way of getting yarn. I don't need it even, but it's all this is just fun as hell too. Just like the fun of like knowing that there's going to be discount yarn, and like hoping to like time it properly where I'm in there, and then they're discounting it or like whatever. So it's all fun, but whatever. And so I left, and when I came back for the second time, I went into the store, and they were still in the process of like putting the yarn on the shelves and stuff, like opening them up. But they were distracted, like I think they were cutting some fabric, and so I like walked through there just to kind of see, like glance through the area, and there was like a plastic tub or something, or like a plastic bin, like on the floor, and then there was like some yarn, like some random skeins kind of on top of it, and I thought, like, you know, are these like, when they're like putting the new yarn on the shelf, or these are the ones that they're pulling off and then they're going to be discounting them later? And so I just thought, like, why is that, you know, random yarn there? Because it didn't look like all the new yarn, so I thought, like, there's something weird. And so I just, you know, my deal senses were tingling or whatever, and so I just thought, you know, these look like they're going to be discounted. And so but they were still in the process of putting all the yarn on there, and I didn't want to like walk around the store for 2 hours while you know, I was waiting. That it might not even happen. And so I left the store, but I thought, like, I feel like they're going to be discounted. And so I went back like a couple hours later, and or it was like an hour. I couldn't wait that long. But I came home and I ate supper and all this stuff, and I thought, I'm gonna go there because they're still open for, you know, for another hour or whatever. So I went back to the store, and they were there was a cart, and they had, like, you know, maybe a fourth full of some yarn, and then they had like another cart that had like about the same amount, or a little bit more in the second cart. But there was a woman over there, and then all of a sudden she just kind of like left. She wasn't over there anymore, and they were. It just seems like she was like working around in there, and then she just like, okay, my shift is over, and so I'm just gonna leave. And so like whoever it was just like left everything, and so there was like some carts still there, and like with the skeins of yarn still in plastic, and then there was that one cart that had some yarn that it felt like it was gonna be discounted, because she put it where that cart was when I found those 38 skeins in that cart, and I was like, you know, going in there every day waiting for it to be discounted. It was in that spot, and there was a cart in the yarn section, and like in the yarn aisles, and so I walked by that cart, and these are the two times I went in there and I thought, like, you know, I feel like they're gonna be discounted. So like I left the store. I didn't want to like linger around while she was still in there, and you know, I wanted, because like I didn't want to like make her uncomfortable if she's like gonna be discounting yarn, and then I'm like, you know, lurking around, and like she sees me like, oh, there he is, like for the 5th time, like walking around here, in here waiting to be, for them to be discounted. So I didn't want to like lurk around. So like I sat in the car for a little while, and I thought I'll go back in, and so that was like the 4th time, and so she had left or whatever, and so then just like left everything. But then that cart, she put it where the 38 skein cart was, and so anyway, but I went through there and I walked by that cart, that the one that was where the yarn was, and they had clearance stickers on them, but the other ones didn't. But I felt like they were going to be clearance too, and I didn't want to, because these weren't in the remnants section, or like on a shelf anywhere. I thought, like, can I like take the yarn out of this cart? I just felt like maybe I shouldn't. I didn't want to like take them out of the cart, because they had the discount stickers on them, but like I didn't really know if I should take them or not. So I was like walking around for a little while, just kind of debating, like, you know, should I take the yarn? And then there was another girl that was like walking around. She wasn't the one that usually you know, discounts the yarn or whatever. She was just kind of like an employee walking around. And I said, I actually went up to her and I said, there's a cart over there with some skeins of yarn in it, and they're discounted. Can I like take those? I wanted to ask before I, you know, took those skeins. I didn't know if they were going to be, you know, sold or whatever. And she said, oh yeah, she must have just not had time to put them on the shelf or whatever, and yeah, you can take them. And so I thought, okay, like I got like a, you know, verification from one of the employees, so I didn't just like walk over there and like take yarn that I wasn't supposed to. And so I got like permission from her, and to, you know, take the yarn. And so I got like the skeins that were in there. But then I knew that there was that other cart there, but it was near the end of the closing of the store. Like I've never I've never been in their parking lot when it was that dark. And then, you know, thinking about the whole like joke in my head that, you know, somebody's going to come up behind me and stab me with the neck in the neck with knitting needles. It was just kind of like walking in like their dark parking lot. No, I'm exaggerating. You know what I'm saying? But I've never been there like that late, I don't think. But whatever. And so I got those skeins of yarn. But then I knew that they weren't going to be discounting the other ones, because that woman was just gone. You know, her shift must have been over with. So but I thought maybe the next day I'll go. But the cart that was there that I thought that they were going to discount the next day is there were a bunch of like sort of there were a couple of variegated ones, but they were kind of like neutrals or like browns, and it was like a colorway that was like I just sort of half-ass glanced at it, but it was like that white and brown kind of, it was just kind of like these neutral colors. And like the only thing that I noticed in that cart, there were a bunch of those little Crafter's Secret cottons and like all that crap. I knew that I wouldn't buy that if they discounted it. But what I was looking at in that cart, the few yarns that I noticed in that cart that I really wanted were they were those like thick dream spun kind of yarns. I think they're like a bulky 5. And I've gotten a couple of those in dial-out clearances before, but they have such gorgeous colors in those dream spun skeins. Like those, I saw those and I thought like, I want to get those. Like I would come back just for those. And there was also a skein of yarn in that cart that I felt like it was a new yarn, because when I went back into the, I know that you want me to just get to the yarn, but you know me, my videos start with these long-winded stories. If you care, and I mean, if you don't care about this crap, you've already skipped ahead anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I don't even know why I'm saying this. But when I went in for the big after the big markdown, I thought I was looking around to see if there were any yarns that I didn't notice before, to see if there were any new yarns, and there were these new ones that are on the bottom shelf. I mean, they're gorgeous. I don't know why the hell they're putting them on the bottom shelf, but I think they're like the Dream Supreme something or other. And I don't think that's a new brand, but these yarns were just like ones that I didn't notice before. They were these really gorgeous. They kind of look like that Dream Supreme, except they're a little hairy looking, and they're more oblong, like a standard kind of skein of yarn, and they're like really pretty vibrant colors. The ones that I saw that were sort of new in my head, and so I saw one of those in that cart, and I was thinking, and I knew that they were expensive, and that's why I never bought them. Even on the 30% off weeks, I thought like, I'm cheap. But I thought I would never get one in a dial-out clearance, but I thought I want to get those skeins. Like it would be worth coming back here for the, 5th time in like 2 days, just to, see if I can get those Dream Spun and then like the pretty vibrant one. And so I got those ones in the cart, that night. And then the next day I went, and I went in there, and all that yarn that was in that cart was gone, except for the ones that I wanted. It's like whoever went in there and like the customers or whatever, they got all those cotton skeins, and then whatever else. Like honestly, I didn't really notice like what those skeins were, because all I was looking at was those Dream Spun and then that Dream Supreme or whatever, because it was like the vibrant colors. Like those are the ones I really wanted, and they were all there in the remnant section. And so whoever bought, hopefully it was a couple people, or it might have just been one person. Thought, oh, good, I got all this yarn, but I don't want all this crap. And they left like the good ones that I wanted. So I didn't get all of them. So I hope that they felt like they scored, getting a big haul of yarn or whatever. But I honestly didn't care, and the fact that I didn't really care was like really cool too. I go in there all the time. Like I sort of earned this yarn, going in there like 4 times in one day, and then a 5th time the next day. But like I didn't even care that I didn't get that other yarn, because I got this the pretty Dream Spun and all that stuff. So like that's what I really wanted, and so I did get what I wanted. And I mean, if they would have had the other yarn, I probably would have got that too, except for those, Crafter's Secret cotton. But I did get all the other yarn. So this is the haul from Hobby Lobby, and it's 15 skeins, I think, total. The first day, I think it was 9. And so that's what was in that cart that was already discounted. And so it's just gorgeous yarn. Another one of these Yarn Bee Cozy Occasion in the olive color. So I did get one of these, and I feel like I might keep this for mine, because she has so much of this. My niece has so much of this, like Cozy Occasion and all this stuff. And I do love this green color. And I do have a black one, and I have one of these olive green too. So I'm gonna keep this for myself. I don't know what I'm gonna make with this, but I'm gonna keep it for myself because it is really pretty. And she has so much of this, but I shouldn't feel like I'm selfish for keeping this, because she has a whole freaking wall. I'm one to talk, I have an even bigger wall, but you know what I'm saying. And then Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek Low Put Fiber, these kind of skeins, and this is a colorway Ivory. And I was looking, when I got home, I was looking at all my Soft and Sleek or whatever, all those that are up there. Another one, I don't have this color. It's so weird how much of this, like just this brand or just this line of yarn, how much of this I've gotten in dial-out clearances or that big haul, or like the year before, and none of them like hardly any of them are duplicates. Like I've never gotten this colorway before, so it's weird how there's a bunch in here that I didn't get before. It's still I'm still, after all the yarn hauls I've gotten, I'm still getting ones that I've never gotten before. You would think I would have like cleared out. Oh, I already got all these skeins before, but it's like a lot of them are different than the ones that I've gotten before. So it's weird. And then this one, there's two of these. It's the I love this yarn. God damn it. I have to keep saying that. And the color Ocean. And I know I have this. I'm almost sure that I got this Ocean color. It's a really gorgeous kind of a... I think I had trouble describing the color of this. It's like a green shade, but it almost has like a bluish tint to it, like a bluish green, kind of like like I said, I think as I was describing this last haul video, one of the videos, when I was trying to describe this color, it sort of reminds you of like the color of the ocean in the islands. Not that I've ever been to the islands, but like in those pictures, that kind of greenish blue, it's that color. And so like Ocean is the perfect name for this. So there's two of those, and $1.24 of course for those. And then this one is another I love this yarn in the color Toasted Almond, and it's kind of like a light brown color. And I don't know if I have this or not. There's a lot of different shades of brown, and there's a lot of different shades of blue. I don't know if I've gotten Toasted Almond. If you've watched my videos, you're probably thinking, like, you probably know more than I do. Like, I should know, because I'm the one that has to organize this yarn and stuff, but you're probably thinking, yeah, you already said that in one of your haul videos. I don't know, but it's a really pretty light brown color. And then another blue. I love this yarn, Sea Blue. And like I don't know if I have this or not, because this is a light blue, but it does have. It's kind of like the opposite of this. You know what I'm saying? Like if this is green with a little bit of blue, this is blue with like a hint of green in it. It is a light blue, but it's a different shade than like a light blue. It has like a little bit of a greenish tint to it. It's a really gorgeous color. Sea Blue. SEA blue. But like I've said, they have so many shades of light blue, and not just in Hobby Lobby brands, but like in Premier brands and all kinds of other brands. I've just noticed that they have a lot of different shades of blue, like the lighter blues and like this, but it's a really gorgeous solid. And then they had another Yarn Bee Soft Secret in the color Butter, and I know I have that. I can see it right there. And then they did have one of these. I think it was either the, I don't think it was that aqua. I think it was the pale aqua, or whatever the colorway that is. I think they had one of those in that cart that I didn't get. But, you know, I have so much of the Soft Secret, I didn't really care. And so it's weird how my attitude has kind of changed. Like, I still buy yarn and stuff, but like if I miss out on yarn, it's not like that big of a deal. I mean, I go in there enough to, like, you know, 4 or 5 times, and you would think I would be like really devastated that I didn't get that cart. But you know, it doesn't really matter. I did get the ones that I really wanted, so that's like all that's important. But they did have one of these. I think it was like that pale aqua. I'm not really sure. But yeah, because like I was just so focused on like the really vibrant colors. But this is just like a buttery yellow. Butter is the perfect colorway name for this. So I got one of those, $1.24. And then I love this chunky. And the colorway is Plum Garden. And I know I've gotten a colorway that is called Plum Garden, but I don't think it was this. Because like, I looked at my chunky, and I don't have this colorway. And so I don't know. I don't know what color. Of course, they reuse colorway names, because like they use that Boo Pink and Pinkaboo, and like they use that for different kinds of yarns. So I'm sure Plum Garden was used in one of the other yarns that I don't know. But so they've reused that colorway name because it sounds really familiar. Okay, quick edit. I said in my video that Plum Garden skein is one that I hadn't gotten before, because I actually looked on my wall when I got this home, and I thought that I didn't have it, because what I saw on the shelf sticking out was this. And see how it doesn't look like the same colorway? But I think it's like that, Michael's Impressions, the Saltwater Taffy, how depending on how it's spun, the skeins look like they're different from each other. But these are this is actually the Plum Garden, even though it doesn't look like the same colorway. But if you like from this way, you can just see all this white in it. But this one, it just looks like all the purple. But if you move it, like down underneath that is that white. So I actually do have 2 of these. I thought that they were different colorways just because of how differently it's spun, but they are the same. So anyway, back to the video. So it's like these I don't mean like dull, but like they're not vibrant colors, but they're the color, like different shades of purple and a little bit of blue and a couple, you know, streaks of white in there, but like that kind of muted purple that they call plum. Like anytime they use the colorway name with plum in it, it's usually like a sort of a duller purple, not like a vibrant purple, but and I don't mean dull like it's ugly. I mean, this is gorgeous, I love this, but more of like a muted purple, and so that's what this colorway is. Really a pretty chunky yarn. And then they had like a sparkly yarn, Yarn Bee Velvety Smooth Sparkle, and then the color teal green. It's really gorgeous. I mean, and again, like I don't have this color. I thought I had gotten it before, but the one I had gotten, I need to stop doing that. I need to go. And the other one I got, like to cover my bald spot. No, the other one is like a bluish color and like a navy blue, and so this one's like a green, and it's more green than it's kind of like a Christmas green. It's not really teal in my mind. Like the teals that I'm used to, or the teals that I love. This isn't really teal green. This is more like a Christmas green, like the deep dark kind of greens around Christmas. That's what color it is in my head. It's not really like a teal, but it's a gorgeous colorway. Now I love all the sparkle in it and stuff. So that was from the first night, and then the next day when I went in there, they had all the other ones that I got. I think it was 5 skeins. So I did get that. I did get a couple other things from Hobby Lobby, which I'll get to, but I just wanted to take care of the yarn haul at the beginning, and before I start going off on tangents and stuff. And so the other, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they had 6 skeins left in the remnants. And so, speaking of, one of them is the Baby Bee Adorable Super Bulky, and the colorway is Pinkaboo, like I was just talking about. And I've gotten Pinkaboo in a couple different, not just like this kind of yarn, but like some of the other yarns. They use that colorway name a lot. And so it's just like a light pink. And it's like that kind of thick chenille yarn. And what is this, a 5? Oh, this is a Super Bulky, a 6. I think I have this same kind of thing in like a smaller, like a medium. I mean, I still need to memorize that stuff. The 6 super bulky and the 5. I know medium 4, but like I don't know what the hell a 5 is. Chunky or hang on. Bulky 5. Or what is this one? Super bulky. Okay, 6 super bulky, and then a bulky 5. Whatever. God, I can barely keep colorway names and name brands and stuff straight. Whatever. And so and then they had another Baby Bee Adorable. This is like the regular Adorable. So this would be a bulky 5, right? Bulky 5. Okay. And the colorway is brown, just like a brown color. And another one I didn't have. I mean, of course, I have a ton of this color, but I didn't have any brown. I know I have a small skein. I think I got it at Dollar Tree, that one of those Premier Chenille or whatever, but I didn't have any of the Hobby Lobby brown. So it's a really gorgeous, like a dark brown, really pretty. And then the 4 skeins, or no, or the 4 like really vibrant skeins. But there's 3 skeins of the Dream Spun, and then this one right here. I'll save that one for last because I'm really excited about this. It's gorgeous. So the Dream Spun, Yarn Bee Dream Spun, and this is the color Meadow Dream. It's all these shades of green. They're not like vibrant greens. They're kind of like darker minty greens. It's a really cool green color in this, and I don't know why this is like that. I don't know if this is a turn or no, maybe it's just the yarn's coming off of it, but it's really pretty. Like this green, it's like it is kind of like a dark minty green, and if you can imagine that color. And so it has like different shades of that, some light in it, some dark, and just really pretty. Meadow Dream is that one. And then this one is called, or no, I'll do this one because I know I have this one, Yarn Bee Dream Spun, and the color Tuscany. And I know I have another one of these, and like this is what I'm talking about. This is the teal that I like. When I think of teal, like I think of these kind of shades. That other one, it's a pretty green, but like it's not like a teal shade, not like teal green. And I know I have this, so I have 2 of these. It has all these different oranges and teals and a little bit of light green in there, maybe some yellow too, and it's a really gorgeous mix of colors. And like these are the ones I saw these in that carton. Like these are the ones I really wanted because like of how pretty these are. And it is like a chunky yarn. I don't know how far this will stretch because this is a kind of a small skein, only 76 yards. But I do have 2 of this colorway. But they do match each other, and like if you put them next to each other, they could probably be mixed together and how they can match. And so I don't know how far this will stretch, but because like I don't even know if I could make like a hat with one of these, because you know it's only 76 yards. It is a thicker yarn, but I just don't think it'll be enough to make a hat. So I don't know. And then this one, Yarn Bee Dream Spun, the colorway Mountain Bluebird, and the really gorgeous blues in here. Like that, I love this blue, like right here. We can't really see it very well on this crappy camera, I'm sure, but like the blue here is gorgeous, and then it has like these different shades of purple. Like this is really, really vibrant purple. Like you know, compared to that other one. Like see like this is a purple, but see how like this is vibrant purple, and then this is like that. It's kind of a duller shade of purple, or like a grayish muted purple. And so like these are the kind of purples that I love. This is pretty though, but like when they talk about like plum, this is what the color usually is. It's kind of like that. But anyway. So this is just like a really gorgeous yarn. Like these are the ones I really wanted. And then this one skein of Yarn Bee Effortless Super Bulky, and I don't know, is this that same kind that again, here's another shot of my bald spot. This kind of yarn, let's see. It is okay. So I've gotten this Effortless Super Bulky before. How much? 111. It's the same yardage. That's weird. Okay, this right here is the same yardage as this. Like it doesn't seem like it is, because it seems way thicker than this. I mean, look at the skein, like the size difference. I mean, I don't know, but yeah, they're the same. They're supposedly the same size, same length, same 6 super bulky and 111 yards and all that. Same exact specs, but like this looks way smaller than this. I mean, it really does, and it's not. It's not because like, oh, maybe this was like a return and some of it's gone. No, if you compare like the like you can feel how different this is. It's like if you compare the weight of these yarns, I mean this feels so much thicker than this. I mean this is prettier, but like see how you can tell the difference between the weight of it. I can't like, you know, hold these two up to. Yes, I can. Like if you compare the two. Together, this just seems way thicker than this, but they're supposedly the same length and same weight or whatever, but it's just not. So I could never use this with that because it's just not the same weight. I don't care what the label says, but I would never, you know, mix this with that dull color anyway, that kind of neutral color, because these are just gorgeous colors. So it's the Yarn Bee Effortless Super Bulky, and there's a fly in here. Like I'm not pissed off enough. I'll get to it. There, you know, just a bunch of crap. I wanted to start with something positive about, you know, yarn and everything, and I'll circle back around to something positive. But this video might get a little bit ranty, just because of like a couple things that, you know, pissed me off lately. But but anyway, so Effortless Super Bulky. The colorway name is Delphinium. I guess that's how you say that. Delphinium. I don't know what that means. It must be like, you know, some foreign word that means, you know, vibrant, beautiful colors. I don't know what the delphinium means, whatever. It's really gorgeous. Purples and blues and greens and a little bit of a yellowish green in there. And just gorgeous. And it has a hairiness to it, but it's not like it's coming apart like that Uber Luxe was. And I looked at the specs, and it says 80% acrylic and 20% alpaca. And I've heard of that word, but I didn't really know what that was. And alpaca is like an animal. And so it has natural fibers in it. And alpaca, the reason why this is so expensive, the original price $8.99 for this, and the clearance price is $2.24. But the reason why it's so expensive is because, you know, alpaca fur is like, you know, really really expensive. Like I've seen when I was looking up like alpaca and all that, they have skeins, not at Hobby Lobby, but like, you know, on other places, like 100% alpaca, you know, a skein for like $40 or like more than that. So it's like it's a sort of a luxury yarn, and so like, yeah, it has a hairy halo on it, but it's that alpaca yarn, and or fur or whatever, and so it is really nice and really soft too. And I've seen this in the store. They have it on the bottom shelf. Like, why the hell put something this gorgeous on the bottom shelf? It's so stupid. And but anyway, that's probably why they have so much of it on the shelf, and they had to clearance out one of them to make room for the new, because, you know, the people don't see it because it's right there on the bottom shelf. But this is one that I saw and I thought, is this new? Because I don't remember ever seeing this in there. Because like I mean, I never really looked in this kind of section where the bulk yarns and stuff were, but like, I would have noticed this because of how vibrant the colors are. And like, this is how it works up, like a really gorgeous mix of colors. And so I'm glad I got that. And I'm glad that, you know, when I went back they had these. And so I did get these. But that was like the haul of the yarn haul. And when I went in there, one of the times, yeah, in that was past few days, like the 5 times I went in there, I went and I looked in the clearance section. I did find a couple things, you know, while I was like waiting for them to be discounting the yarn or like whatever. I did find some more of those pom-poms, you know, another pack, 39 cents for 2 of those. And I can't remember, are these, was that the same price? There's 2 stickers here. Let me peel this off. This one says 39 cents, but I don't know. I feel like it was more than that the other day. 69 cents was the original discounted price. So they discounted it even more to 39 cents. But whatever. So that they were, so these are like 20 cents a piece, less than 20 cents a piece for these pom-poms. Got one pack of those, and this is just like something real pretty and glittery. Then they had like I saw this in the clearance section, but didn't have a price sticker on it, and so I thought, well, maybe somebody like, because I saw this over there where the like back to school stuff was and all that, and I didn't want to get it because I thought, like, what if some kid is like, oh, I want an apple, and then the parent let the kid play with it, and then when they got to the clearance section, they no, what did you grab that for? And then like put it back. I'm just like imagining. It could have just been like, or I mean, it was just like in the clearance section, but like that's what went through my head. That some kid was like playing with it, and then the mother thought, oh, well, what did you grab that for? And then like take it and like just put it on the shelf like in the clearance section. It wasn't supposed to be there. That's just what went through my head. So I didn't even think of like trying to get it because it didn't have any sticker on it, and then I didn't want to look like somebody that like grabbed something off the shelf and said, oh, I found this in the clearance section. How much is this? When, you know, I would know that it wasn't clearanced, you know. I didn't want to come off as somebody like that. And so, but then when I went over there and they had the stickers on, I went ahead and got it. It was 49 cents. I don't need this. I'm not a teacher or nothing, and, you know, I don't care about apples or anything, but I think it's like just gorgeous and stuff. There's a lot of, it must be a trend now, a lot of stuff that look like mirror balls and like mirrored stuff. Like I was going through, I think it was Dollar General or something. I was looking at their Halloween stuff, and they have like Halloween masks, like, you know, the Scream, or not there, but they have like the generic Scream looking masks, or like Halloween masks that you know, are supposed to be scary, but then they have like all this like mirrored thing on it. And then even in Michael's and their which I'll get to, pissed off about they have in their Halloween stuff, they have like a bunch of mirrored stuff like this. So it must be like a trend. I mean, it's gorgeous. I love this kind of stuff, but I don't know why the trend is that. Even in like, you know, horror masks and stuff. I know I've seen a Scream mask like that. If it's not mirrored, it has like, you know, little jewels and stuff all over it. So I don't know why that's the trend. I mean, I like it, but, you know, I don't know why. But this is only 49 cents. God, I started talking about Dollar General and Scream masks after talking about an apple. Whatever. I was about to say, you know how my brain works, but I don't even know how the hell it works. And then the only other things in the clearance section at Hobby Lobby were these. In Hobby Lobby, the only other things were in the clearance section were these tassels. And these aren't these are too thick to put on like a bookmark. I don't know. If I make something crochet and I put it on a keychain, this would be kind of cool to like attach to a keychain. They're all the pastel colors. There are 4 packs of these, and it's like a pastel pink and purple and like a teal color. And so there's 4. And so these were only 87 cents. So I thought that these can add like a little something extra to any kind of keychains that I make with my crochet. And like something pastel, I guess I'd have to make, but just for it to match. But maybe if I make a little, because these are like just unapologetically Easter pastels. Like I feel like if I make an amigurumi of a like I'm not really an amigurumi, but I feel like like an egg would probably be really simple to make. Because it's just like, you know, a round thing, and there's nothing to attach, and there's no, like, you know, too big of a change between rows and to like make arms, or like it seems like an amigurumi egg would be easy to do. Maybe I can make like a pastel egg to make a little keychain for Easter and put these on it. I don't know, but that's just like what I got these for, and only 87 cents for all these. And so I thought I'll do something crafty with those. And then they had these I guess they're beads, but they are these little hearts that are all sparkly, and they they're not beads like a traditional bead, but they have these little loop on the back where you can string them on something. And I thought I'm going to string these together and put them on a Lucy tree, and as extra, you know, decoration around it or something. I think that would be really pretty. I mean, I could save this for something crochet related. You know, put these on something crochet, but I'm going to use this for my Lucy tree. But I did get those. That was just like a little bonus thing. But anyway, so that's like all the Hobby Lobby stuff. No, it's not. I did get one more thing at Hobby Lobby I forgot to say. And when I went over to the clearance section, they had this flag box. And like I said, I think I said in another video, on these chest of drawers here, they I have on one chest of drawers is like this little shrine to my dad, and it has like some pictures or whatever, and it has he was in the Navy, and my grandfather, who was my mom's dad, who I never met because he died when she was you know, really young. We have his flag. He was in the Navy too, and we have his flag there, and so it's like a little shrine there to and he worked on a train, and so there's like some little trains there and stuff. But we have his flag there, and my dad's there. But my dad's flag box is it's really messed up. Like the little, or the lid or whatever that, you know, goes over it is all messed up. It doesn't even close anymore. And then the frame around it is coming apart, and I had to try to tape it or whatever. And so, sometimes I'll hear something fall in here, and it's because when we have some of his little metals and stuff and patches or whatever in there, and because the outside of it doesn't close all the way, there's like it's not really pressing it well in there. So sometimes his metals will like fall out, and so it's just a really crappy flag box. It's just because it's so old, and so I thought if I ever see a flag box, I do want to get it for my dad, because, you know, it's just that flag box is just, you know, on its last leg, and so we need another flag box. And so they had one in the clearance section at Hobby Lobby, and this was $15, which is a lot, but I mean, you know, for me to spend on something that's not yarn. No, it was a lot, but the regular price of this is $29.99, and yeah, this isn't a 75% off discount, but, you know, it is 50% off, and it's for, you know, my dad's flag and everything, and it is really nice. I was wondering, like, why it was discounted, and then I noticed, like, right here there's this little pin, like this little wooden dowel looking thing, and it looks like there's something missing here in the front. And I went over to the section, because I knew where this stuff was, because I going through the frames and looking for those little those things to put plates on or whatever. I know that they had these over there, and I was like looking at the ones that are on the shelf that weren't discounted to see like why this was discounted, what was missing, and what it is here's the flag box. It's really nice. I don't have anything. This is just like the generic pictures in it. And so this is like what it comes, what it looks like. But like right here, there's a frame that is missing, and it goes on this little wooden peg. And so like because the frame was missing, they discounted it to $15. I don't know where the frame went, but whatever. And so it's just a really nice flag box. And then what is really cool is if I can reach over here and get it. Hang on. But when I got home, there's a picture over there with my dad's stuff, and it's a picture frame, and it looks like the American flag. And what is so cool is this fits perfectly there. I mean, it would fall out. I mean, but I'll have to attach it somehow. But it's weird how like the backing of this, like the black backing on this, it fits perfectly in there where it sort of fits snug. Like if you just like leave it there, it'll sit. But like if you like walk through here, it would probably fall out. But like it fits perfectly there. But this is the picture, and this is my dad. You know, right there. There are pictures of him where I look at him and I'm thinking, I really do look like my dad. It's weird. And there are pictures of like my dad where it's like, oh my God, that's like my brother. I can really see me and my brother in my dad in my dad's face. But that's what my dad looks like. And so this is the picture. And it's so cool how this fits there. So like it just sort of fits snugly there. with the black background or the black backing, and so it like fits there like perfectly. See how the like I could do this and it doesn't move because of that black back. And so if I can figure out a way to like attach this to that, then I can fill that gap or whatever, and then have his flag there, and then some of his medals and all that kind of stuff in there, and the bottom part of the shadow box. But this is a really good deal, $15. But it's for my dad's flag and everything, so that was a really good deal at Hobby Lobby too. So. But from this point on, I'll just talk about a couple random things. And one of the things is all about the whole Michaels thing. They still don't have the big twist. They still don't have the Karen Smash cakes. They don't have anniversary cakes. They don't have any of that stuff. I actually went in there, like every time I go to Hobby Lobby, I sort of think, should I go into Michaels? And I still have this hope that the store's gonna, finally get in, some new yarn, or, be the store that I wish it was in my head. So I went in there. I don't go in there every single time I go to Hobby Lobby, because sometimes I'm just thinking, I don't even want to leave with disappointment like I do every single time. So I don't even go in there. But sometimes I do. And so I went in there, and there was this girl on this, this young woman, like in her 20s. I'm getting so old that like these, young women or whatever, in their 20s, that little girl, because, I'm all old, that young woman, she was on this like step ladder thing, and I'm like putting stuff on shelves. Not where the yarn was, but she was just like somewhere else, and I'm in that middle section. And I said, have you actually went up to her and I said, have you heard anything about like Big Twist or whatever coming in, like the yarn? And then she was like, no, I haven't heard anything about Big Twist. I've heard that the fabric is going to be here in like January or what. And I'm thinking that there was a guy in there that told me a couple months ago that was going to be in the fall, and she says it's in January. But she was like, no, I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything about Big Twist. Nothing. I'm thinking it's so infuriating. I thought, why don't you put it on the shelf where there's all these gaps and stuff, where the other yarn that you that little limited section of yarn that you have isn't stocked up. Why don't you put the Big Twist there? But whatever. And so that just kind of pissed me off. I didn't say that to her, of course. She was just a nice woman and stuff. She didn't hear anything about any Big Twist coming or whatever. And so it just pissed me, or it doesn't piss me off, or no, it does. I was gonna say, why am I like trying not to be negative about Michaels? I'm like trying to be like, well, it's just disappointing. No, it pisses me off. I don't know why they're not like investing in my store, but because like I've seen videos online of people's really nice Michaels and stuff, and they're putting up like these big signs in between the aisles saying something like Michaels, Joanne, or like whatever, and having like really investing in their the yarn section and stuff, and it's just not happening in mine. But and so I went through there, and this is like a couple random trips or whatever. But like I went through there, and there was one day when I walked in, and I thought, oh god, I actually grabbed a cart because I thought, is that new yarn? And it was new yarn, but all it was like they were restocking the shelves of the same yarn that I've seen in there all the time. And then I even glanced through like. I like walked by because there was an employee walking around, and I glanced through. It's just all that like big blanket looking yarn, or the posh pearl or posh whatever, or like all that kind of stuff. And I thought, because what I was looking for was more of that saltwater taffy, because I would love to add one more skein to this, because it looks nice on the back of my chair, but it's like it's right to the edge. Like it needs one more skein, but they don't have this anymore. It's like they got the 3 skeins in, and then it's like, oh well, we check. Got put those in, and then like they sold them, but they're not putting any more in. And see, there's a damn fly. It's just like a perfect timing when I'm like pissed off about Michaels. So they still haven't gotten any more of that in. And then there was another time I went into Michaels, and there were like 3 employees in there, like in the yarn section or whatever, and she was like pulling a couple skeins off. The day I went in and they were doing that. It was the day after. There was a Sunday. It was last Sunday as I'm filming this. But last Sunday, a couple days ago, they were talking about they sent me an email, and they were talking in the email about like, oh, we're having this big event at your local Michaels, and I'm sure it was like the generic email that they sent to everybody on the Michaels mailing list. But I was like, oh, there's going to be this big event Sunday, and like you can get if you bring your email, then you can get like 50% off one item, and there was all these coupons and stuff, and it's going to be, you can meet your Michaels associates, and you can see all the, you know, thousands of different kinds of fabric and all the new selection of yarn. And I was so defeated and just pissed off about Michaels. I thought, like, I'm not even going to waste the gas to go over there on Sunday, even though I could have gotten 50% off one item, because I thought, that's not going to be the reality of my store. Yeah, it says it in that email, but like, I don't care what it says in the email. I know that I'm going to walk in that store, and it's not going to be that. It's not going to be like, you know, a bunch of new selections of yarn, and it's not going to be, you know, fabric. And so, like, I went in the next day, that Monday, a couple days ago, and it was exactly the same. Like, and I thought, I walked in, I thought, see, I knew it. Like, that's why I didn't go in there Sunday, because I knew that it wasn't going to be, you know, all improved and whatever the description they said in the email. They weren't going to have like tons of new yarn and all kinds of fabric and all that stuff. They had the same yarn, and even when I went in there that Monday, like, they didn't even have the yarn. They had some boxes in the middle, and then that's when they were like taking some yarn off the shelf, and all the yarn that were in those boxes, or all the yarn that was in those boxes, was like just replacing the yarn that was already there, you know, like filling it up. But it was nothing new, no big twists, no Karen cakes, none of that stuff, no freestanding shelves anywhere. It's disappointing every time I go in there. And all that yarn that they had in those, you know, few boxes there, none of it was the impressions, you know, that saltwater taffy or none of that stuff. They did fill up that. Whatever that other con that I got that I said look like the peacock feathers or whatever. They filled up that end cap or whatever, but otherwise it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like I hate to be so, like, I'm giving Michaels a lot of hope that they don't really deserve, and I just feel like it just feels like it's a waste of energy, and I'm just getting so discouraged and frustrated. I don't even care about it anymore, and it just kind of sucks. But and so, like, with all that in mind, and then going through there, and they still have some of those boxes with all the clearance stuff in it, you know, those $10 grab boxes or whatever. They're still there. I mean, some of them are being sold, but like there's still a whole bunch there after, you know, a couple weeks. Usually, like before, when I first found out they had those boxes, sometimes I went in there. And there were people like leaving with 4 or 5 of them. You know, it's like it was this exciting thing. But like this time, there's still boxes after weeks, because, you know, hardly anybody goes in there, or they just they know what's in those boxes. I know exactly what's in those boxes because I saw that crap in the middle or whatever, and I didn't buy it when I saw it just like all laid out, and so I wouldn't buy it in the boxes. And what's pissing me off is this is probably what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to know what's in those boxes, but like, you know, the handles that, you know, that where they it's like a cardboard box, and then when you push in the handles, there's like at least a handle hole where you can kind of get a glimpse of like what's in those boxes, and like that was always like fun, where you knew that you couldn't see everything in there, but you can kind of get a glimpse of, oh, there's like something in there, that, oh, there's like a skein of yarn in there, or whatever. You can kind of take a little glimpse in there. But now they're starting to, like, the way they tape the boxes, they're starting to, like, they put the the hand holes in there, and then they're starting to like pop the cardboard back in the holes and then tape it. So tape the box up, and so you can't even like, you know, look in there in those little holes anymore, because they have them all taped up and everything. So that just, you know, pissed me off too. And then there was one day I was leaving Michaels, and it really pissed me off. This has nothing to do with Michaels, but like, you know, it was just like, I walked out of there, you know, discouraged and you know, upset that they don't have any yarn or whatever. Not that I need any, but, you know, I'm just like pissed off that I have all this hope in the store, and it's just like, you know, I'm just getting kind of sick of it, and just. I'm just not, you know, looking forward to going into Michaels anymore. And so then I was like leaving the store, and then as I was walking out, there was like this family of people, and like it looked like a grandmother and her grandkids and whoever else was with her. And then they were like walking out of the door like really slow, because they had like, you know, kids in push chairs or like whatever, and like kids walking, and they just suddenly stopped. And not like, you know, stopped like they were at the curb. This is like a total rant. They just stopped right there. Like if the doors, like the doors had opened, if the doors had closed, they would have had to, like, you know, lean up a little bit, because it would have, like, you know, hit the back of their head. Like that's where they stopped, like right in front. And so like I wanted to just get the hell out of the store. And so I was going to go like this way because I'd parked, you know, if you left the store, I parked, you know, on the right. And so I was like going to go this way, but there was like people in the way. You know, and this big family just like stopped, and you know, in front of the door. And so I was like, I went this way, and so I would have to like go around them like this, and to you know, go where I parked. And so I was like, you know, I went that way, and it was. Then they started to move as I was like getting in front of them, so they started to like move again, and so it was that kind of awkward moment, like where like you're in a grocery store or something, and like you're both coming the same way, and it's kind of like oh you know, like that kind of like awkward is supposed to be this sort of funny moment. It's sort of like that where like I was like getting ready to walk in front of them, and then that's when they started to walk, and it was kind of like this awkward moment, like, you know, any other situation we've been like, oh you know, kind of like, you know, that giggly sort of thing that you do, where it's like sort of uncomfortable and you don't really know who's supposed to go first or whatever. And so I thought like, you know, as they were like moving or whatever, I was like getting closer to the curb, and there was like a car coming from this way, and so I thought like I guess I'm gonna have to like, you know, just walk in front of them or whatever. So I was like, oh yeah, you know, excuse me, like I sort of mumbled excuse me or whatever, and just like walked. And as they were like, it looked like I just like stepped in front of them, but all they were like walking. It was like we were, you know, walking at the same time. So I just thought I need to like walk in front of them, because otherwise if I step down into the damn cement or whatever, I'm gonna get hit by a freaking car. And so I like walked in front of them, whatever. And then as I was walking away, the woman goes, this is like an older woman, like the grandmother, in front of her grandkids. She goes, way to say thank you. I thought like, what she should have done is apologize to me for just stopping in front of the damn doors in the first place. But I thought like this is supposed to be like this funny, oh, this awkward moment or whatever, and so I just like walked in front of her, and then way to say thank you, like it went all over me, because I thought like I hated to go into Michael's anyway, because I knew that they wouldn't have anything new, and then I have to, you know, deal with this, you know, sarcastic bitch in the front of the store or whatever saying, oh, way to say thank you. So it just went all over me, and so I really hate going in there. And so and of course she had nothing to do with, you know, Michael's or whatever, but it's just like it was another thing, like, God, I go in there and I sort of have this hope, and then my hope is just, you know, getting more and more depleted or whatever, and then I'll walk out of the store and then have to deal with all this stupid crap. And it pissed me off. And so that was one thing with Michael's, and so then when I went home, I was like, I drove by Wendy's, because I've been like, if you watch one of my other videos, I was talking about how they have all the Wednesday stuff, like on the outside of the building, and the gravestones, and like all the branded stuff from that meal that they had. And I've been like watching that every single time I drive by, that, oh, the gravestones are still there, or like, oh, this the sign's still on the window. But I remember I had called up there, and I said, the manager had our number, or two managers had our number, and they were going to call if they took that stuff down. They're going to put it in the office, and they're going to call us and say, you can come up here and get all this stuff, because I was going to get it for my niece. And so I saw that stuff was gone, because I see it every single day I drive by there, and I thought, oh, it's gone, so maybe they're going to call us. But then when we got home, we called up there, and the woman was like, one of the managers, I don't think it was the one I'd spoken to before, but she said, I don't really know where that stuff is. Give me an hour, and I'll look, because I don't see it in the office anywhere, and I'll give me an hour, and I'll call you back. An hour went by, another hour went by, another hour went by, and then, you know, the store closed or whatever. No phone call back. Called this morning, and there was somebody else, and she said, oh, the maintenance guy threw it out when he put up all the new posters. And that just went all over me. Like, two managers had our number or whatever, and they were supposed to save all that stuff for us, and then it's in the garbage. It better be in the garbage, because I've been watching eBay. I'm gonna watch eBay for the next couple weeks, and if anything, because you can see like where the seller is from. If any seller around here has that damn Wednesday stuff, and it has anything to do with Wendy's, I'm gonna be so pissed. But it went all over me. Because, I mean, I don't care about Wednesday or whatever, but I care because I felt like I got that stuff from my niece because she loves Wednesday. Like, as much of a deal finder as I am, and I'm cheap as hell when it comes to me, but like when I see anything for her, anything Wednesday related, it's like, you know, I just grab it. Like, I could probably buy, like, you know, 20 skeins of yarn for like the price of one thing Wednesday that I buy her, because like it's for my niece or whatever, and so I don't really think about it. And so I thought, like, this is gonna be a really cool thing to put it with her Wednesday stuff. It's a bunch of, like, you know, posters and weird little you know, gravestone looking things, you know, that are Wednesday related, you know, from Wendy's, you know, a freaking fast food place. But it would have looked really cool with all of my niece's Wednesday stuff. But you know, now it's like it's in the garbage, maybe, or they took it or whatever, I don't know. But all this thing, like, I hold a grudge so much that, like, I feel like I don't ever want to eat at Wendy's again. Even though it wasn't Wendy's fault, it wasn't like the company. I'm not, you know, shit. I mean, I'm not like crapping on Wendy's or whatever. Although after all that crap that you know, them throwing the posters out and stuff, I don't feel as bad about, you know, crapping on the little sauces that came with that meal, because they were just awful. But it pissed me off, and so like, I wanted to get that stuff for my niece, you know, and it's not like I was gonna resell it on eBay. There are people that got that stuff, and it's already popping up on eBay, and they're selling like the decals from the outside for like $150 and all these ridiculous prices and stuff. Yeah, maybe they probably thought, oh, we're gonna resell it, but like, I claimed that stuff, you know what I'm saying, with two managers and stuff, and to think that they just, like, they threw it away, or, you know, didn't care enough to, like, put it in the office or like whatever, it just pisses me off. Yeah, even if I was gonna sell it, it's like I claimed it, you know, but I wasn't. I was gonna put it with my niece's Wednesday stuff. We're gonna have, like, freaking, you know, Wendy's promotional posters and I mean, and crap all over her playroom and stuff. It was gonna look ridiculous, but like, she would have loved it. And but the only good thing that came from all this stuff, because it pissed me off. But like I said, I don't really care about Wednesday, but I care enough for my niece. You know, I care about it because of my niece, because of how excited she would have been if she saw all that stuff, you know, in her playroom. But what the good thing is that I didn't tell her about it. That would have really went all over me if I would have told her, like, oh, guess what? You know, all that stuff up at Wendy's, we're gonna get it when they take it down. Luckily, I haven't seen her since then, and so and I probably wouldn't have told her anyway, because I would have wanted to, like, surprise her with it. But luckily, she didn't even know about it. So what would have pissed me off is, like, her knowing that we were gonna get that stuff, and then me having to tell her, oh, they threw it away. Like, at least she didn't know about it. But it's just the point. It pissed me off. So, like, you know, all this, you know, Michael's crap in that, you know, in front of the store or whatever, you know, being all sarcastic or whatever, and then it's like, oh, and then Wendy's, you know, took the posters down, but then threw them in the garbage. So it just, you know, it pissed me off. But anyway, so that's like the negative part of this video. So let me try to, you know, circle back around to something positive, so I don't end on a bunch of negative crap. God. It's still like raw in my head. I'm so pissed off. That's why, you know, I'm having to stop myself from cussing like 18 times. But anyway, let me get to the more positive things. Okay, one of the things is just something that I found at Goodwill from my mom, and it's a picture of the Beatles, or like I don't know what you call it, not really a silhouette. It's like where they, I'm sure it's for, you know, copyright reasons, but like the faces without like the eyes and the mouth and stuff, like one of those kind of pictures, and it's like the Beatles, and this is only $2.99. I told my mom that, like, obviously Goodwill didn't know what this was. They didn't know that it was the Beatles, because otherwise this would have been like $15 if they would have known. I told her that maybe, you know, some idiot at the back, this is just me, you know, making a joke. I said maybe some idiot in the back thought, this must not be worth very much, because they have 4 Stooges on here instead of the 3. Like, you know, they probably thought, oh, is it like the 3 Stooges? Oh, they put 4 on here. What? How stupid! Always put $3 on. But anyway, so it's like the Beatles or whatever, and from like Sergeant Pepper or whatever. And I don't know. It's obviously a print or whatever. It's not like this. This isn't like an actual painting or anything. This probably isn't worth anything. But it's really cool for my mom's Beatles stuff. I don't know who Kenrick is. K-N-R-I-C-K. I don't know. I tried to Google this. I Googled this picture, whatever, but it didn't come up anywhere. So is this worth like millions of dollars? No, I'm sure this isn't worth anything, except to my mom, because she loves the Beatles, and so it's gonna go with her Beatles stuff. But it was really cool to find this in Goodwill, and it was only $3. But not only that, but we found this, and my mom found a shirt, and what was cool is that was all we bought at Goodwill. So this was $3, and then the shirt that she was gonna buy was like, I think $5.49, which is ridiculous for their damn prices of their clothes. They get all that crap for free. $5 $5, and some of it's like $5.99 for a freaking shirt. They get like a big bag of shirts or whatever. And it's like, oh, $6, $6.50, $5.50. It's all for free. But anyway, so they had the shirts, so it was like $5.49, and then this was $2.99, and then so we went through the line. And what was weird is the shirt was like, for some reason they don't have like the little signs up anymore about like the half off color of the week thing. We thought that they just got rid of that because of them opening up or whatever. But obviously it's still in the system or whatever, because it took half off of her shirt at the register, because her shirt was like the color of the week. We didn't even know what color of the week it was because they didn't even put the signs up anymore. But it was a half off, and then what was left was like $5 and something, and it was we had reached like the level where we spent $100, and so it took $5 off, and so it was basically free for this picture and her shirt. So I mean, yeah, $2.99 for this would have been a good deal, but we didn't even have to pay that because this was totally free. So a really good deal for that. So that was just like sort of some random thing. And then I'll also circle back to the crochet. But I did notice that, like, because I said in one of my videos that I did notice in my analytics that some of my videos are being recommended next to Juan the Yarn Addict's videos, and I made this joke that like it doesn't really fit because he's like really nice and sweet or whatever, and I'm just like this mess of a person or whatever, and he's like always showing the specks of yarn. I'm just like, I'll just look it up. So it didn't really make sense in my head like why they're recommending me next to him, because he's always going to be like the successful YouTuber that he is, and I'm always going to be like down here. And so it doesn't seem like I fit with like next to him. But then I noticed some of my other videos are being recommended next to Yarn Geek's videos, and I felt like that makes sense to me. Not that I'm comparing myself to her, because she's going to be successful. She can be way up here too. But like at least me being next to her videos makes sense because of like all the yarn that she has, and I'm not calling her out. I wish I could trade places with her and have all of her yarn, because like she has tons more than I do. God, I'm so jealous. Like most people would think, oh God, she has way too much yarn. I love that. I love her like studio and stuff, and how she has bags and bags and bags of yarn. Like, so it makes sense in my head like why my videos would be recommended next to her, because of like all those the videos that she's done with all of her big yarn stash, and how she's like organizing it in her really cool looking studio and stuff. And I mean, it almost looks like this spectrum, like this rainbow behind her. It's really cool how she's organizing it. But I thought like, okay, at least that makes sense. Like I can see why my video would be recommended next to her, because of me always having more and more yarn or whatever, and practically showing more yarn hauls than actual stuff that I've crocheted, even though I crochet all the time. But you know what I'm saying. I just love yarn, and I love organizing it. I love talking about it, and it's just like yarn. And it's sort of like I watched a couple of her videos, and I was like, because like the first video I think I saw from her was when she when I was looking around for videos for the big markdown, and she showed that velvet skein from Hobby Lobby that if you kind of find the end of it, you can pull it out, and it becomes like a really thin piece of velvet, because it's like this really big thick yarn like this. And it was her video, because when I came across her video, she showed that like you can actually pull it out and make it really thin velvet yarn, and it just blew my mind. And so that was like the first video I ever saw of hers, and I've been watching her videos every once in a while, but like every time she has a new like, oh, I'm organizing my studio, I'm like, click. I'm just like, like in dream world, like watching all that yarn that she has, just like tons of it. And then like I've gone back and watched some of her videos where she's like organizing her mom's stash, and her mom basically has like a freaking yarn store in her whole house. I was thinking, God, I'm all, and like the big storage units or like those big storage things full of yarn. They have a ton of yarn. It's just like, I'm jealous of it. I'm not like calling her out saying, oh, she has too much yarn. I would trade places with her. No, I wouldn't, because then I wouldn't have this yarn. I want my yarn and her yarn. No, it's just like, I don't know. But I just wanted to say that because like that makes sense. It makes sense for why my video would be next to hers. Or not that I'm like comparing myself to her, but I'm just saying that that makes more sense in my head. Like, okay, the analytics got it right that time, because like if you watch her videos, then you might enjoy me talking about my stash that's very small compared to hers. At this point, maybe in the future it might not be, but whatever. And so her videos are the goal. No, I'm just kidding. But but it sort of makes sense. Makes more sense to me being recommended next to Juan the Yarn Addict, who's just really thoughtful of people and actually reading the specs and all that kind of stuff and whatever. But so that was just sort of a random thing. And then the only other thing I'll talk about is I posted, it was 2 videos ago as I'm filming this. It was a video where I showed my mom's bed jacket, and like that video did so well. I couldn't believe how well that video did. And what, yeah, it was exciting to get, like, I think I got like 40 subscribers from that one video, and I'm getting closer and closer to 1,000 subscribers as I'm filming this, and it was like really exciting on that, in that aspect. But like what was even more exciting about that is the fact that I think it got over 1,000 views already. That many people got to see my mom's bed jacket, because I'm really proud of that, and not like, oh, they got to see something I made. No, they got to see something that I'm really proud of, that my mom just loves, and I'm so glad that like that video of all my videos. I mean, some of my other videos where I showed like big yarn hauls and stuff have gotten, you know, even more views. But like as far as like my makes and stuff, like the video that I did where I showed everything I crocheted in my first year, it didn't even get like 1,000 views. Like so. And I show like everything I made, and so for me to you know, show my mom's bed jacket, knowing that, you know, she loves it so much. Like she just wore it the other day because it was kind of chilly, and so because we're getting into fall and everything, it was like kind of rainy, and she was like wearing it, and so she just loves it, and so the fact that, like, you know, all those people got to see it and appreciate it and stuff, that just made me, like, I just loved it. And yeah, I ended up getting a lot of subscribers from it and all that kind of, that stuff's really cool too. But like I just love that like so many people saw my mom's bed jacket, and we were talking about how pretty it was, and because she just loves it, and I'm really proud of that bed jacket. So that was like a really cool thing. And then in the video, it was doing well, and it kind of coincided with Melody Yarn Tinka, you know, shout out. She shouted me out in like a couple videos. Like I shouted her out like a long time ago or whatever, because I couldn't believe that, like, because I had seen her video, and then like, this is when I was first starting out on the second time on YouTube, and like when my channel started to take off a little bit, it was weird that like I saw her name pop up in my and the people that were in my subscriber list, because like I watched her videos before she subscribed to me, and I was thinking, really, she subscribed to me? Like it was weird. And so because she's like a really good YouTuber, and I love her videos, and I've talked about how like beautiful and colorful her videos are in her comments or whatever. I mean, it really does feel like you're stepping into Oz. Like every single one of her videos, like the aesthetic, you know, how I've said in my videos, I love, like, you know, blacks, you know, black colors and dark and black. But then I also love like really vibrant colors. Just like go through her thumbnails, and like that's exactly what her videos look like. They're just like pops of color everywhere. And I said in the comment I posted on her video, one of her videos, that I mean, you really, when you watch her, and there are some crocheters, I'm sure, you know, somebody like me, where you can just like kind of crochet and you just can listen to my, you know, all over the place ass, just like, you know, rambling or whatever. But there are some people where you actually have to watch the videos because they're so interesting, and or like when they, yeah, you watch people like if they're holding up something, but like if you're crocheting, you can just kind of like listen to my videos where I'm just like rambling about shit. Rambling about stuff, and you really have to like watch every single second. But like with hers, it's like you want to watch every single second, because there's like so much color and such an interesting like visual stimulation watching her videos. I mean, it's really, it is like and of course I use a movie reference, especially Wizard of Oz, because how much I love the Wizard of Oz. Don't even get me started on what they did to it at the Sphere. I've been there, and I never will go there, because like I don't like what they did to that. Because I'm a purist. I love the Wizard of Oz, and it just feels like, yeah, it's cool, some of the stuff they did, but I don't like that they changed so much and cut out stuff, and just don't even get me started. Because I already, you know, went off on rants in this video, God. But anyway, so I don't like that. But anyway, so but I love the Wizard of Oz, and so of course I compared watching her videos to that, because it sort of feels like that moment in the Wizard of Oz when it's like, you know, everything's sort of black and white, and then or sepia or whatever, and then she like walks into Oz, and everything is like this big, you know, gorgeous pop of color, like just color everywhere. It sort of feels like that you're like stepping into Oz, like watching her videos, just like all this color and everything, and all the different colorways that she uses, and just like her studio, and how everything is just, it's her videos are beautiful videos. They're like just like visually stimulating, just like gorgeous, and I love all the stuff that she does, and all those like cool cat pillows and stuff. So and so I said that in one of the comments or whatever, because she like shouted me out, and then she shouted me out again, and like So, like the video that I posted about my mom's bed jacket was getting traction and whatever, and then she mentioned me in a video. It's like both of those things kind of converged, and I got like over 1,000 views from my video about my mom's bed jacket, and so it was just like this perfect kind of like, you know, things that, you know, came together and helped, you know, propel that video to be the success that it was. And I'm so glad it was that video of all videos. Like, it could have been one of my ridiculous videos where I was talking about like, oh, I got this poster at Ollie's, or oh, I got another yarn haul, but like it was like something that I'm really proud of that I made, and it's something like for my mom that was a gift. It's not like, oh, I made this bookmark for myself. No, it's like it was something that I you know, made for my mom, and I just love that video got the attention that it did, and it was, you know, Melody Yarn Tinka was part of that that video's success, and I'm just really grateful for that. And I just love that video did well, and all that. And so that was just like that's why I wanted to end the video on, after I knew that I was going to, you know, go off on all these, you know, rants and stuff, and all that. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one.